Hello, my beautiful second graders. I hope all is well at home. You're enjoying yourself. We're going to start with the 10th chapter of Dr. Dolittle. And it looks like we left off with the doctor and his pets going back to the seashore. So the monkeys went with him as far as the edge of their country. And then that's where we stopped. So I'm excited to see what happens. The 10th chapter is called Prince Bumpo. So automatically, I'm already thinking this cannot be good. If we have a prince and he has to get back to the water to figure out some kind of boat to get home, and he has the rarest animal of all, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. By the edge of the river, they stopped and said farewell. This took a long time because all those thousands of monkeys wanted to shake John Dolittle's hand. Afterward, when the doctor and his pets were going on alone, Polynesia said, "We must tread softly and talk low as we go through the land of the Jolliginki. If the king should hear us, he will send his soldiers to catch us again, for I am sure he is still very angry about the trick that I played on him." "What I'm wondering," said the doctor, "is where we are going to get another boat to go home in. Perhaps we'll find one that nobody is using lying about on the beach." One day, while they were passing through a very thick part of the jungle, Chi-Chi went ahead of them to look for coconuts. While he was away, the doctor and the rest of the animals got lost in the deep woods. They wandered around and around, but could not find their way down to the seashore. Chi-Chi was terribly upset when he could not find them. He climbed high trees and looked out from the top branches to try to see if he could see the doctor's tall hat. He waved and he shouted. He called to all the animals by name. That sounds like a bad idea. But it was no use. They seemed to have disappeared. Indeed, they had lost their way very badly. They had strayed a long way off the path, and the jungle was so thick with bushes and creepers and vines that sometimes they could hardly move at all. And the doctor had to take out his pocket knife and cut his way through. At last, after stumbling about for many days, getting their clothes torn and their faces covered with mud, they walked right into the king's back garden by mistake. The king's men came running and caught them right away. But Polynesia flew into a tree in the garden without anyone seeing her, and she hid herself. The doctor and the rest were taken before the king. "Aha!" cried the king. "So you are caught again! This time you shall not escape. Take them all back to prison and put double locks on the door. This man shall scrub my kitchen floor for the rest of his life." So the doctor and his pets were led back to prison and locked up. The doctor was told in the morning he must begin scrubbing the kitchen floor. They were all very unhappy. "This is a nuisance," said the doctor. "I really must get back to Puddleby." All this time, Polynesia was still sitting in the tree in the palace garden. Soon, she spotted Chi-Chi swinging through the trees, still looking for the doctor. When Chi-Chi saw her, he came into her tree and asked her what had become of the rest of them. "The doctor and all the animals have been caught by the king's men and locked up again," whispered Polynesia. "We lost our way in the jungle and ended up in the palace garden by mistake." "Oh, but couldn't you guide them?" asked Chi-Chi. He began to get angry. He began to scold the parrot for letting them get lost while he was looking for the coconuts. "Shh," said Polynesia. "Look, Bumpo coming into the garden. He must not see us. Don't move, whatever you do." And there, sure enough, was Prince Bumpo, the king's son, opening the garden gate. He carried a book of fairy tales under his arm. He came strolling down the walk, humming a sad little song, till he reached a stone right under the tree where the parrot and the monkey were hiding. Then he lay down on the seat and began reading the fairy stories to himself. Chi-Chi and Polynesia watched him, being very quiet and very still. After a while, the king's son laid the book down and sighed. "If I were only a frog prince," he said with a dreamy look in his eyes. Then Polynesia, talking in a small, high voice, said, "Bumpo, someone might turn thee into a frog prince one day." The king's son jumped off the seat and looked all around. What is this I hear? This sweet music of a fairy's silver voice seems to ring from yonder branch. Strange. "Worthy prince," Polynesia was keeping very still so that Bumpo couldn't see her, "you speak words of truth, for 'tis I, the queen of the fairies, who speaks to thee. I am hiding in a rosebud." "Oh, tell me, fairy queen, who is it that can turn me into a frog prince?" "In thy father's prison there lies a famous wizard, John Dolittle. Many things he knows of medicine and magic, and mighty deeds has he performed. Yet the king, your father, has imprisoned him. Go to him, brave Bumpo, secretly when the sun has set, and he shall make you the froggiest prince of them all." "I have said enough. I must go now back to fairyland. Farewell." "Farewell," cried the prince. "1,000 thank yous, sweet fairy queen." He sat down on the seat again with a smile upon his face, waiting for the sun to set. That is so silly. That Polynesia, she is a smart, smart parrot, thinking of all of these ways to trick the royal family. I'm excited to see what chapter 11 brings. Hope you guys have an awesome day.